Brigette's here today. Julie and Milo show is coming your way on Passive.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is April 1st, 2021. Welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My dear friend Milo and I are here with you. My name is Julie. I'm coming to you from Orange County, California. My dear friend Milo. Milo, could you please say hello?
Hey, how you guys doing? It's Milo from Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you, Milo. Do you know what? Every single day, Milo wake up, we get on the camera, we do Zoom together, and he always tell me I am look so beautiful. He always does that because he knows that I'm pretty conscious about being in front of the camera. So thank you, Milo, for making me laugh every day. You and I are so blessed because we get to sit down and talk to all the founders across the world. We made so many friends here in Julie and Milo show. And today we do have a special guest in our room. And could you please introduce our guest, Milo?
Absolutely, Julie. We don't know a lot about the founder. We've read her background and stuff, but I'd like to bring her to the stage right now. Brigette Nkamsi. Brigette, come on out. Welcome to the show, Brigette. It's so good to have you here today.
Welcome to the show, Brigette. So nice to have you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Julie and Milo. I am so thrilled to be here today. I've been looking forward to this. Thank you for having me to this important show.
Awesome. It's so good to have you. And we like to bring people on the show, new founders, not necessarily new, but founders that we want to introduce to other founders, and they can go and see it. So we want to know a little about Brigette Nkamsi today. Where was she born? Her mom and dad, if they're still alive, the siblings that you have, and then go into your family if you've got children.
Okay. My name is Brigette Nkamsi. I was born in Cameroon, Central Africa. My dad passed away in 91 at the age of 65. And my mom is still alive. She's here with us. We're thankful. I have 9 brothers and sisters. So I'm from a family of 10 altogether. 1 brother and 9 girls. And they're still alive. 2 sisters are back in Cameroon. One is in Dublin, Ireland. She's a nun, she's a reverend sister. And the rest of us, we're here in the US. My brother lives in San Francisco, California.
Awesome.
And I do have a daughter who's 20 years old. She's in college. And that's about it.
Okay.
Wow, wow. So let me ask you, how does your brother survive with 9 girls in a family? I cannot imagine. I mean, survive mean how did he deal with it?
Exactly.
Well,
He happens to be the 8th, so almost the baby of the family. But surprisingly, he's so responsible and mature. He feels like he needs to take care of his sisters. Yeah, but I remember when he was little, we're always teasing him. We're always teasing him when he was little, but you know how kids are growing up sometimes. But right now, he's really responsible. I really admire him. He's married. He's in California. He's married to a lady from Germany. They live in the Bay Area. They've been married since 2010. Yeah.
I can imagine he's probably spoiled
Yeah.
with 9 sisters. That would be a great place to be. But
Yes.
anyway, I noticed one of your hobbies is singing, and I'm always going to go to singing. If there's singing on the list, I'm going there. Now,
Okay.
especially if you've got 9 brothers or you got 9 in your family, there's got to be some great harmony that goes on.
Exactly.
I love harmony. Tell us about it, what it's like
Eh,
to get together.
Yes. We grew up in a singing family. My mom, my dad, we were singing ever since we were little. And so that was just part of, it was just part of us. We always singing, dancing. I remember during Christmas when we're little, my dad worked for the government. So a group of friends, they had what they call Christmas go around parties. So they would go from house to house on Christmas Eve. And they usually like coming to our home because they usually like coming to our home the last because there they have all the musical presentations from all of us. So we used to sing together. My dad would play the musical instruments and we'll sing. And it was very exciting growing up with that. Even my mom had a choir in church. So
Awesome. What instrument did your dad play?
he played the piano.
Oh, awesome. That's
Yes,
my.
and currently, my nephews and nieces, they're all into music. I have two nephews who are actually on passive at the moment. They all are so musical. They write their songs. They actually have some songs that they've released back in Cameroon. And my brother in California also released a couple of songs, but I don't know if it became popular. I don't know in California. And at the moment, I sing in church, in the church choir. Um, my daughter plays several musical instruments. She plays the piano, she plays the violin, she plays the saxophone, she plays the guitar.
That's
So,
Wow.
that's awesome. And the thing about it is with music, as it's gonna change the life. Of course, OnPass is gonna change the life of everyone. But
yes.
anyway,
I know you're about to go there. Um, I noticed that in your bio, you having a chemical engineering background. What projects have you worked on?
Well, um, I have a chemical engineering background, like you say, correctly so, but I have worked mostly in medical device, pharmaceutical companies. Um, I have been working for like the last 25 years. Initially, when I started working, I worked with a pharmaceutical company as a full-time in quality, compliance, and regulatory affairs. And when I got laid off from that company, a friend of mine from there called me up and informed me that there were some projects that needed to be done. So I said, well, I'll just go for it. It doesn't hurt, to go for a project for like 6 months. So when I did that project, I realized that, you start something and you know it's going to come to an end. And it was rewarding because you do what you were asked to do. So right after that, I decided that I'm going to start looking for projects like that. So for my 25 years, I've worked with like, I would say 14 different companies, you know, projects after project after project. And it's kind of rewarding because you go into these companies who might have issues with they have like citations from the regulatory like FDA, and they needed people to come around and actually solve the problems for them. So that's when we come in. We apply our background to resolve the issues that they have in their quality systems, in remediation and design controls, risk management, supply management and all of that. So that's what pretty much I've been doing for the past 25 years, except for the recent job that I'm doing, which is a little bit different. I'll talk about that. So yeah, so that's what I've done pretty much.
Wow, that's
so,
that's very cool. Go ahead, Milo.
so what is remeditation? Remeditation.
Remediation.
Yeah.
Remediation is I would say remediation is identifying and assessing um, and managing liabilities in the company in terms of their processes and their products and try to, fix
Oh,
them.
I got.
Yes. So pretty much it entails a lot. It entails a lot. It have to do with like the change management, the design controls, risk management, document controls, just the whole process
A
of
lot of legal stuff.
yes, yeah. and then design inputs, design, all of those things. And that's where they use us, because you have to apply your chemical engineering knowledge to some of those processes.
Gotcha.
Wow. So basically you work like almost like a program manager where you oversee the whole project, and then you'll be able to identify the problems to fix it and all of that. So if you were to be in front of, if there's a project hand to you, you probably oversee the whole entire project.
Yes, and I enjoyed hands-on as well, because oftentimes when you're overseeing those projects, when you're hands-on, you actually can see what's going on. Yes.
Very cool. So we are talking about the next topic, which is on passive. On passive, it is a reason for us to be here connecting with each other. On passive is a reason for our Julie and Milo show started. So I'd like to have you let us know, when did you join On Passive? How did you hear about On Passive, and what made you take the action to become a non-passive founder?
Yeah, a friend of mine, prior to 2019, I had been, because when my daughter went to college, all these jobs that I'd been doing a lot of traveling, and leave her with family and travel. I would spend like a few months here and come home on weekends and things like that. So when she, right before she went to college, like when she started high school, I had decided that I didn't want to travel. I wanted to be local so she can focus, and, because it's very critical from high school to college. So I stayed around, and my cousin started a home health agency. She wanted me to assist her with that, which was a startup company. So I jumped in, I helped her with that, put everything in place. So for the past, I would say 5 years, that's what I've been doing with her. So right now the company is up and running. It's gotten to the point where she can hire others to help her with it and ready to move on. So I started thinking I needed to change my career, and I didn't want to go back to traveling. So the first thing that came to mind was IT. So I thought about IT. I'm like, I think I would like to get into IT. So I started searching around, looking. I started taking classes like cybersecurity, trying to teach myself Scrum and, all of those little things. So, and my mind was still in IT. I said, well, I need to figure out what I needed to do. So in April of 2020, I got a text from a childhood friend of mine who's also an engineer, and she is kind of into IT. And she mentioned in the text that there is this IT company that's about to launch, and it's, you're going to be making a lot of money, hands, you don't have to do anything and all of that. I'm like, so let me just check it out. So I looked at it. I immediately signed up without even knowing what it was. I signed up because I thought, well, this is IT, so I can never go wrong with this. And then she mentioned to me that there was a presentation that very day. So I attended the presentation. It was a presentation by Charles Osong. And this friend of mine is a sister-in-law to Charles Osong. So I attended the presentation, and I was so excited to find out from the presentation that, unlike other companies that I tried to, like some of this multi-level marketing that I tried, like Mary Kay, Melaleuca, I tried some of that before. This one was totally different. I didn't succeed in those because I didn't know how to recruit people, and so I just thought, well, if I don't have to recruit, and it's going to be AI, I said, AI is big. This is going to be it for me. I was so thrilled. I'm like, I had to join this thing. I started telling my family. I signed up my sister, my nephews, everybody. Everybody was just coming in. And then I think a couple of weeks after that, we had a meeting with our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufara. So when I attended the meeting, that's when I realized that this is what I had been looking for all my life. Because in 2019, I had a near-death experience. I had a really bad accident. where, you know, I hit a tree head on, and nobody knows why I got out of that accident without real complete damage, because it was a miracle. I got out of the accident with just 2 stitches on my legs. And people kept telling me somebody was watching over you. Somebody was watching over you. So, and I felt really lucky. So, and I started telling myself, there's a reason why I'm alive. You know, there's something I need to do. So, and growing up with my dad, he was always somebody who took care of people. He spent so much money on people, educating people. He was always a giving person. So we grew up having that. It was just part of us, you know. So I had this passion of taking care of people and doing good things, you know. And I kept searching and searching that someday, you know, I really have to come up with something to do. So when I found out from Ash, you know, when he was talking to us that day, I really was able to resonate with, you know, with the what he was looking for in unpassive, what he was trying to do with unpassive. So I just told myself that this is the reason why I survived that accident. That's what I believe, you know. I don't know, but that's what I've been thinking all along. So I've been thinking about what I needed to do slowly and slowly but surely, but I know this is my purpose for living.
Wow.
Wow, that's an incredible story. That's an awesome story. You know, and we like to say on the show that, you know, Own Passive is changing the world one person at a time.
Exactly.
And it started with Ash Mafaro, but you mentioned something about you know, your heart kind of changed and stuff. Because when we talk to founders every day, and we hear basically the same thing. When we first come in, it's about, you know, an extra stream of income that we want to make, and then all of a sudden that goes away because you realize that you're going to be living abundantly, you know, and you don't have to worry about that. And it's a great, it lifts a burden off your shoulders, you know, that you're going to have anything that you want. But, and on top of that, those are those apples, but then you got more apples that are left, and what are you going to do with those, you know? And so that becomes the giving part. And so I would like to ask you a couple questions. Number one, what are you going to do with your part of the apples? You know, you yourself, what do you want to do with your part? What are your dreams?
Okay. First of all, my dream, of course, taking care of my daughter who is in college, and she's also an unpassive member, actually. She's also in unpassive. She was one of the first people I signed into unpassive. So my dad passed in 91, and he was only 65 years old. And the reason why I think he passed had to do with the health situation back in Cameroon. So I had always been passionate about improving the health system back in Cameroon. So I am currently actually involved. I had been involved with in an NGO that does a lot. They they get a team of doctors together and go to Cameroon every summer and set up and treat people for free. So they've been doing that for the past, I would say, 6 or 7 years. So I actually I'm with that NGO. I support them. So I'm going to continue to do that because they're doing great things. Um, and then secondly, I'm going to be able to take care of my mother. My mother is blind from glaucoma. So I'm going to be able to have adequate care for her. And I also look at the world, people are suffering. You look at kids, some of them, they don't have any one to take care of them. They're orphans. So I'm going to look into all of those. So there's so many different things that I think I'm going to get involved with. So, and I believe that Unpassive came to me for those reasons.
That's awesome. I love your heart. In fact, you answered both of the questions. You know, you answered that second part of that question. What are you going to do with the rest of them that you have, which is
Yes.
great. I almost went into this earlier, and I backed out of it because I know that we wasn't talking about on passive yet. You probably seen me go, you know, and the reason I did that is because I'm not supposed to talk about on passive till we get to that part. But anyway, so what I want to tell you is, you have brothers and sisters or whatever that are producing music, and I don't know if they know how big on passive is going to be for them, but it is a monster when they learn that now it will build their fan base for them. They can put it out, they can advertise their songs digitally to 212 countries around the world. You have a world wallet that, you know, that money just goes into. I mean, for any musician, regardless where you are in the music world, you can put your music on there, and you know, you can do very, very well. We have a video out. I don't know if you've seen it, but on the Julie Milo show, we have a video that's called "How Will On Passive Affect the Music Industry?" And because, you know, I'm pretty involved in the music industry, I realize what this is going to do for the music industry. And I'm telling you that everybody in the music industry will get into on passive very soon when they see what happens, because the markability and stuff. So they are in a very good place. So I encourage you to take that video. If you haven't watched it, watch
Okay.
that one because it's a good one.
Great. I'm gonna watch that and I'm gonna let them know. Yes.
Absolutely. So you are very passionate, and you know that you are called for to be here to do on passive. There are still other people still out there on the fence, or there are still some folks that not plug into on passive. What do you say to them, Bridget?
I would let them know that they need to jump on passive, because on passive is what the world is supposed to be. This is where everybody needs to be, because it will change everybody's life, and there won't be any poverty or any problems in the world through on passive. So everybody should jump on and learn, attend all the webinars to be able to educate themselves. We're all one happy family.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for making your time being here with us. I'm so glad that you are here, and I'm so glad and can't wait to see how your family is doing after when on passive launch, because when your brother and sisters and everyone's get together, I'm very sure it's going to be so fun. I can't believe it. 9 sisters all together.
Yes. Yes, yes,
That's got
yes.
to be a
I am so grateful for Mr. Ashmafar for this company. I always I tell people that he's my savior. You know, that's what I refer to him as, my savior, you know.
yeah. He's an awesome guy, you know, and but like Julie said, I can only imagine getting together at Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter, you know, and those days and getting around the piano and singing. It's got to be incredible, you know, because I know when me and my daughters get together, funnest time of my life, you know, is getting with my daughters and just singing the harmonies. And to me, man, that just takes all the cares away, man.
Yes, yes,
You know, so
definitely.
thank you so much for taking the time to come on to our show. I know we're running out of time, so thank you very much for coming on and telling your story. And make sure you share your story, because everyone needs to hear your story. Julie, I'm going to send it back over to you to take us out of here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Milo. Just any last words, Bridget? Do you want to say a few words to shout out to some folks?
Um, Unpassive is the place to be. I am so grateful for Mr. Ash. Thank you, thank you, thank you for putting this together. He's going to change lives. We're going to change lives together. And this is a blessing to mankind.
Absolutely. You're so right, Bridget. Thank you so much for being here with us. There you have it, everyone. It's Brigette Nkamsi, Brigette Nkamsi. I'm sorry for not pronouncing it incorrectly. we were always here having a great time chatting with our founders, and Bridget is one of our founder. We love for you to check out Julie and Milo show. There are so many founder stories out there. There's playlists that talk about how On Passive can help small businesses or individuals or charities. We hope that you check that out as well. We do have a presenter series is actually already launched. If you haven't looked at them, you can actually watch the presentation and see whose styles that work with who, and connecting and keep sharing them. There's going to be more presenters that are coming onto our show. We are going to post those there for you. So please always check out julieandmilo.com. If you want to be a presenter for our presentation series, please go to the top left hand side and fill out your information. Let us know that you're interested to become a presenter, to become a founder at the Julie and Milo show. Also, check on your right hand side is a cruise tab, cruise information. If you like to go on a cruise with Julie and Milo show, just have fun, any kind of event that we are putting out, we'd love to have you join us. As always, thank you so much for watching the Julie and Milo show. We do have a Facebook group, On Passive with a Heart, and a Facebook group called A Heart of On Passive. That is where you can post any health tips, anything that you're interested that helps the community to stay healthy. Thank you so much for watching the Julie and Milo show. As always, please stay well, stay safe, and stay alive. Good night from Orange County, California.
Good night from Maryland.
Good night from Nashville, Tennessee.
Listen to the stories and how they tell when they join another doing so well, telling us what it's all about today and how they are loving that own passive way. On passive, here today on passive, there's no better way. Listen to the Julie and the Milo show, so then you can be the very first to know. On passive, it's a here today. Julie and Milo show is coming your way on passive.